Uh, Sometimes you run into little glitches. I apologize ahead of time, folks. I I messed up, but I ended the live stream when I all I wanted to do was. I apologize, man. I ended the live stream instead of I was trying to play the music. You know what I mean?
You see, Matt, you just mashed the wrong button.
Yeah, which I don't understand why I would reach up there and press that. My fault, Damon. But
You all right, man? You good?
yeah. Uh,
Here we go.
let's try this again. I do it out of habit, so we can. This is what I should have done. Let me get this out of the way. Hiccup. I had a hiccup and dropped the live earlier. But welcome to this episode of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm not sure the people that are invited on the old stream are they gonna catch us or not, but we're gonna push ahead and do what we do. Um, I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with my other host.
Uncle Spoke.
And your boy Damon.
We welcome you to our podcast. Get some house cleaning out of the way. The time traveler is with us today, Jaquar.
What's going on, brother? Good
What's
to see
going on, brother?
you. Peace to you.
Um, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. This is a conversational format about adult situations, life, what's funny, what's not funny, you know, what's detrimental to us as a community. We discuss everything, sports, discuss everything, and you know, we pride ourselves 3 years strong. We pride ourselves in just having a conversation to get our views because what we do is we promote communication. That's what we do. You know, I don't have to agree with my host or any guests that we have. I don't have to agree with them, but I do want an opportunity to express themselves and give them the respect to hear them out. So this is a conversational podcast, and we got great content. Please go to our YouTube channel, Strong Perspective Podcast. Strong Perspective Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. And
No. Send us something, bro.
and below my name, you may see my cash. Well, not the cash app to the podcast. And basically, what that is for is to really and truly, if you feel like showing some love, hook us up because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the equipment to really have a clearer picture, even though I think this is pretty clear. But some of my loved ones like, man, what's going on? Y'all need to step it up. What's going on? Look, y'all not like Shay Shay. Shay Shay do the same thing, but we can see his old black shiny ass. You know what I mean? But
Wow.
people think I'm in the garage and shit. You in the garage? Nah, motherfucker, I'm in my living room.
Look,
Say,
they want to. They
where
want to
you
know.
can?
Yeah.
They want to look. Some people want to know. Hey, Keith, why you got that shimmering? Where'd you get that shimmering paint from? What are you talking about, man? It's shimmering in the background. What is that? Come on, bro. Come on, man. you know, it's an old head that asked that. No, I just blot out the back, man.
When he
Yeah,
said shimmering,
shimmering. Yeah, this grown man, 6'3", 200-pound man said shimmering. I'm like, okay, you know,
that's the
Hey,
effect, bro.
yeah.
and I think the younger generation, man, has gotten used to the fact that the old heads just is useless when it comes to technology. Because I was in the store the other day, and it came time to pay. I was at the register. It came time to pay, and the little girls, she said, you want Apple Pay, you want this, you want that, and I'm standing there with my wallet in my hand, and I'm like, and, and
What
another
you say?
little girl,
Cash.
yeah, I'm saying, yeah, and another little Spanish girl, she was behind me. She said, "Excuse me, excuse me." she took She took the credit card out of my hand and tapped the goddamn thing and paid for it. And I was like, what that was? What you do?
So, see, you gotta understand. When
Bro, you
my,
ain't charged me twice, did you?
no, my bank has not gotten into the tapping,
Yeah.
so it's all the insertion.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Inserting, and I think I said this to you guys before, right? I feel funny. You go through the
What up,
drive,
bro?
you go through the drive-through, right? And there's a little girl there, and it's time to pay. And she reached out she reached the machine out, and she said, "Tap." I said, "No, insertion." and, and look, I don't know why that shit feel funny to say.
Cause it's filthy.
It's, for some reason, it sounds filthy. But then we've been
Like you were trying to imply something?
yeah, that's what it feels like.
Mm.
And they always, this is no lie, they
She probably
always
went home. She probably went home talking about this old man tried to hit on me.
look. I'm gonna tell you the funny thing is, what up, Keith Barnes? The funny thing is, it was a dude, right? And I'm thinking I'm safe, right? I said, "Yo, I gotta stick it in." He said, "No homo." I said, "You little young mother, don't put me in that game. I don't believe in that."
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I mean?
Come on, man. You trying to do business here, brother? Don't
Come
do that.
on, man. And yeah, he was trying to be funny. You know what I mean? And it was funny, but I'm like, how do grown men play that game? I don't get it.
You remember the first penitentiary movie? I just seen it the other day when Too Sweet was playing trying to slap box and play around with or Seldom Seen.
Seldom seen.
Yeah, dude. Go check it out if you ain't seen it.
Hold on, man. Hold on.
I can't really describe the scene, Keith. I mean, and you ain't gonna even let me slip out the back door, man. But come on, man.
I'm sorry because you know what it was.
Hey, I saw you turn around and walk away, brother. I'm like, okay.
What the fuck, man? Come
But
on.
look. Here's the funny thing. The reason why,
What?
because it was a long ass pause after you did it.
Man, I was like a little uncomfortable.
You too? Et tu, Boutte? What the fuck?
Yeah, man. Um, I don't know, man. Like I said, I've always, our mom always hit me to those damn cowboy movies, man. Then I started listening to that dialogue. You know what I'm saying? and that's why I watch them now. You know, it ain't about the damn genocide of all the Indians and stuff like that. It bothers me now.
I get
You
it.
know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I understand.
You know, it bothers me now that, you know, that I see it.
Yeah.
But it just, you know, just some of the stuff that they say. You know what I mean?
But see, the thing was, I mean, I understand the paradox because I mean, as militant as Pop was, he was a John Wayne fan,
Yeah.
you know, and I really couldn't reconcile that, you know, until I started watching cowboy movies. I'm like, well, fuck, you know.
John Wayne loved brown people. He just didn't, you know, he ain't let brown people fuck with his money. You know what I'm saying? Look, Rooster Cogburn. Fill your hands, you son of a bitch. Um, what other Cowboys movies would you? I mean, just before we get into our topic, man. In chat, if you got anything, what if you're a cowboy person, what movies would you recommend?
I would recommend, man. I really would recommend the Deadwood series, man. I would recommend Dead 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 Man with Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was crazy, man.
Damon, you turned me on to that movie.
Yeah, that was crazy, man.
I would recommend How the West Was Won, Bicentennial, Jeremiah Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah Johnson.
That's a hell of a
You
movie.
know, Jeremiah Johnson was actually a black man, right?
That's what they say. That's what they say.
Yeah, he was actually a black man.
Oh, Mountain Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was a good one.
Yeah.
More recent.
The one with Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman. What's his name?
Little Big Man.
Little Big Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the Clint Eastwood Jones.
Time Traveler Nomad says Tombstone.
Tombstone.
Keith Barnes says Fistful of Dollars. No,
Hey.
but the greatest cowboy movie to me ever was The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I just love the way it was set up, the way it was, man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But most recent on Paramount, Paramount, 1889. If you had that channel, 1889, 1923.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That family, and not any spoilers, but that family seen a whole lot of damn death, man.
Yeah,
man. I know another one too. The Shooters, John Wayne's last movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When man had, what do you have? Prostate cancer.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy because he had just got through with what did they take, half as long out or something?
Yeah.
And then he filmed that movie. It was crazy how they did that.
And you know what's so crazy about it though? In every cowboy joint, you know, not everyone, but the ones that when he was really popular, he was actually an outlaw.
Yeah.
He was actually an outlaw in all of them. But we always seen him as the good guy. You know what I mean?
And for all you brothers that sit around judging us, we watched Buck and the Preacher too, and
man,
Hey,
but
hey,
the
look.
Preacher was a great movie, man.
Hey, look here,
what I'm saying.
Thomasine and Bushrod.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. What's my man, football player?
Jim Brown.
What's his name? No, Jim Brown won. Yeah, him. Fred Williamson. You know what I'm saying? He was a beast in his movies, man. he had all the women. You know what I'm saying?
Now you're talking about gangster joints, man. That black exploitation. Little Caesar. You know what I mean? Hell Up in Harlem.
Cotton Comes to Harlem.
Yeah, man.
No, he wasn't in that.
No, he wasn't.
But you know what, man? For real, Woody Strode, man, he was my inspiration for wanting to be an actor. One of my inspirations for wanting to be an actor, for real.
Oh yeah. Look, he was an All-American football, track too. You know what I'm saying? And he was in all the movies now.
Yeah, all of them. All
Yeah, man.
never played a
All
black.
the
Yo, the cat used to have the shaved head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never played a
Yeah,
black.
always
No.
played the black Indian.
Look, all the Gladiator movies he was in them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Kirk Douglas. Yeah,
Yep. Spartacus.
Spartacus, yeah.
You know. But anyway, man, how was your day today, Jaquari?
It was good, man. You know, I put a bow on my week, man, and you know, and got off a little early. Came home, and when I first got on, man, you know, I took a nap. I took a nap because I just started to do that at my older age after work, and I didn't forget about the podcast or anything, but I was asleep, you know, so I woke up and I jolted up and got down to the bottom 3 stairs and fell down on some bitches, man. I started to call you and just tell you I wasn't gonna be on, man. Just
Yeah, that's what I admire about you. You find the littlest things not to fuck with. I'm not to be fucked with today.
hey man, you know, people used to pay heavy attention to omens, man.
No
They,
doubt.
they used to pay heavy attention. I mean, you could tell how your whole crop was gonna be. You know, just from how the goddamn crows was flying and shit. That kind of shit. And it was usually successful.
Mm. Damon, how was your day today, bro?
Man, I mess around and got out the set in the seat down in my joints, man. No, I'm just playing. My day was good, man. You know, I had a good day. You know, the sun was out all day today. I was like, wow,
What was it?
beautiful day, man.
In
Yeah,
Michigan? Yeah, that's a hell of a thing
yeah.
this time of year.
Yeah. Y'all must got our share. We ain't had none.
No, it rained all day here.
Yeah.
Hey Damon, do y'all got that? I can't remember, man. Do y'all have dogwood trees around where you are, or any kind of pollinating tree, man?
We got all kind of trees,
We
man.
got pine trees, man.
Yeah, well, but here, man, it's you know them cherry trees where everybody come to see, and
Cherry blossom.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, dogwood trees, man. You got that doggone green pollen all over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That shit killing my
Yeah.
eyes, man.
yeah.
Allergies and shit. I hate this shit, man. Damn.
Man, look, I used to laugh at Key because he always had allergies, man. And I didn't have none. And when we first bought this house, man, I was out to trimming the bushes, man. And I leaned into the bush to trim it, and this green mist rose up in my face, man.
Mm-hmm.
Rose up in my face, and I had allergies ever since, man.
Mm-hmm.
I had allergies ever since, man. I'm like, what the hell? What is really going on?
It's the
I
world.
just
You know what?
lingered.
It's the world. It's the world trying to fight back, man. It's the world trying to fight back. You know, like when you cut grass, after you cut your grass and it gets wet and everything, that smell you smell, that smell is actually the grass's distress signal because it just went through trauma,
So you saying it was grass blood?
basically.
No, grass screaming, "Ah! Ah!
Help me!
He's back! It's back! It's killing us!" Keith Barnes says, "I still pay attention to Omen."
That was a hell of a leap from omens to grass.
Yeah, remember, we were talking about it earlier. Remember how you felt when you woke up, and next time you feel that, stay in bed.
Yeah.
Keep the dumb shit home.
I was talking about us. We went from omens to grass.
Oh,
Listen, man. So y'all believe in omens?
I do.
I mean, I pay attention to energy.
But isn't
Energy.
omens sixth sense? So
What happened?
that voice that you hear aren't omens like a sixth sense? When you hear that voice in your head, say, "Man, don't go down that alley."
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you know 12 people been robbed when they walk down that motherfucker.
Right? Say, man, look, this dog don't feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
Omens. I guess
No,
I'm gonna
I pay attention. I pay attention to the energies of things. So what it does is make me aware. It don't stop me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm aware because sometimes, and it may not be true, but I think it's true. Is if I think something's going to happen and I proceed on, and it coincidentally happens, I respond better to it. You know what I mean? Instead of it catching me by surprise and sitting there
Man,
stunned. You know what I'm saying?
so much shit done happened to me in my damn life. You know, my whole attitude is shit happens, and I keep it moving.
I mean, I get it. I get it.
That's very stoic of you, brother. But yeah, I mean, the ancestors. I don't think they're wrong.
I mean, look, they had to look. They look. What it is the fact that we were born with that intuition, but it got dulled because we ain't had no hunting parties after us.
Yeah.
And we could go to the store and show people that we had $5, $10 in our pocket. Where you steal that from, boy? You know what I mean? This one for you, Damon. Because I remember now the majority of Damon's life, right? They called him Damon, or they called him by his nickname, right? But then when the movie came out, everybody, Damien, Damien, Damien. They act like they was mispronouncing this shit. No, you saying the wrong name. Them two different names.
Yeah, that's
You
not
know
me,
what I'm saying? Like,
That shit
man.
was silly to me, man.
I've had.
Especially when go ahead, boy.
I was gonna say it's related, man. I've had the opportunity, man, to build so much character over people's mispronunciation of my name. Uh, I, I'm a hell of a man from it.
I'm just judgmental, bro. If I sit
Jaquan.
up there, my teacher say, Damien, I said, my name is Damon. Damon? Damien? Damon? I said, ain't you reading my name, man?
Yeah,
It ain't no I or E in it.
yeah.
you sitting here looking at the name, and you still said Damien. You know, so I just look at the source, man. Be like, okay.
You see what your boy said. Who can't pronounce Hill? Well, he don't.
Dog,
You know that's Jaquari's middle name.
that's my first
Now,
name, bro.
now he was talking about Jaquari.
First name.
Hiller is your first name? I thought it was your middle name.
Okay, that answers a lot of questions, don't it, bro?
Yeah.
No, no. First of all,
That pretty much sums it up, don't it?
I had the need to share this with the audience.
Jaquan, you heard it, right?
Keith, I wouldn't.
No, first of all,
I would.
I
Would.
told you what you need to do. You got your birth certificate. Go look at it. That's all I need you to do. Because Jaquari, and he did it inadvertently. He spelled his name Juqurry, right? And I told him that our mother, who founded, she was the one who named him Jaquari, always corrected me and said, "This is how you spell his name." And I've seen her correct grown-ups. It's Jaquari, right? Not Jaquari. Now, bro, I'm not saying you said it wrong, but you and Damon persecuted me like
Yes, you did.
I made it up. Like, let me give him a problem today.
You feel persecuted, bro?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. Yes, I did. You know why? Because look what you just did fucking 3 minutes ago. Look at him.
You see that good? There you go again. There you go again. You got an attitude.
You,
So
Oh my God!
I was over it. I was over it. Then you dragged me in. You Al Pacino.
and we
I'm Al
and
Pacino.
we sparked that fire again, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
I just laughed. I just laughed because you didn't know the Hitler was my first name, and you just
Bro, I swear to God, I didn't. I thought it was your middle name. For real. For real.
Mm.
No, it just, look.
and now that my whole government is on the internet, what the fuck?
So you was undercover, you was underground and shit.
Oh man,
Look. You know,
Hey man,
look, if I ain't doing nothing wrong, you need to know my name. As long as you got
I think
my double S's, I'm good.
well, I mean, yeah, I've been living right for the last 10 years, but anything after that, who the hell's to say?
Well, at least, I've been living right at least the last 30. Wink, wink. I think a lot of times, I mean, okay, I got a question for the floor. Damon and Keith, this is for you guys too, and anybody else listening. At what age did you, as men and women, did you decide it was time to get serious about your life?
I think, man, for me, uh, I was like when I graduated, man, and started going to Eastern, man. I was dealing with a high level of seriousness, man, but
Mhm.
circumstances overwhelmed me and knocked me off track, and legit. Next thing I know, shit, it was what 10, 12 years later, you know, and all that time, I'm of course, I'm a rational adult or whatever. So I think I am, being serious about life or whatever, man. But if you don't have a plan and you just and you're just walking, directionless, there's no telling where you're gonna end up.
Mhm.
When you become cognizant of the fact that I'm about to walk into the friggin' ocean here, so I need to make a decision whether to deviate to the left or to the right. That's when all that shit starts to happen, man. So around 30, I guess,
Okay.
when I found out I couldn't live off my cuteness and shit no more. Yeah,
Yeah. Damon, what about
think
you?
for I think for me it was sporadic, man. There were times when I was serious and there was times where I was coasting. So I was serious when I got into college. You know what I'm saying? I was serious when I got out of college. But I became really serious and responsible when I turned 28. And that's when I had my first child and shit. And I know it was about taking care of business now, you know what I'm saying, and focusing. You know what I'm saying? Getting in that situation where you're gonna grind, you know.
Got you. I got you. I think me personally, it's along the same lines as you, Damon. I had different phases. When I was 18 and I turned 18, which is crazy. I turned 18. I believe I turned 18 in college. But what's so crazy about it is that's when and I was feared. I was afraid, but that's when I started to pay attention to what direction I was going. My freshman year, because all that was brand new. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have, my other classmates was going to parties and having a good time, which is nothing wrong with it. But I was afraid to because I didn't want to blow my chance. I had my other job, and y'all both can relate to this. I had my other job, and that job took precedent over my schoolwork, but both were, to me, was equally important, and that is being a basketball player at the University of Pittsburgh. Then it got more serious at 28 when I had my oldest son, Keith. You know what I'm saying? And then each moment, turning 30 meant something. You know what I'm saying? Turning 40 meant something. So I think there's always been that gradual ascent, going up, more and more serious, in which I got to the point where I had to make myself have a good time. I had to try to enjoy myself and be the very best person I could be. I had to do it on purpose. You know what I mean? Keith said it was 19 for him, but he was clueless. And Damon said once he lost his father, seriousness came to his doorstep, which is some realness. You know what I'm saying? I think you're born serious if you're a serious person. But really and truly, to me, in Damon's case and Keith's case, in all our cases, we had situations that made us aware. You know what I mean? So when did you feel you was on the right track of becoming serious? Let's start with you, Damon.
If I'm following the question right, man, that's when you ain't had no choice, man. When you had to make sacrifices and grind, man.
I get that. I'm talking about age-wise. When did you realize that you was on the right track? When do you think it was?
When I was on the right track, when our parents said, "Hey, man, you gonna go work this construction, or you gonna take your ass to college?"
How
And
old
I
were
made
you?
an effort. I
How
was
old were you?
18.
Okay,
No, I was 17,
okay. That's all
and
I
I
know.
knew that
Go ahead.
I had two choices. You know what I'm saying? And I knew what I didn't want to do, and I knew what I had hopes in doing. So I made an effort in it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
I took the first steps.
Ja'Quar, what about yourself?
Uh, Probably around the age of I'd say about 25.
Okay.
It's 25. I realized that what I was doing at the time, man. I was spinning my wheels, man, and I wasn't gonna be able to get my hooks into the situation. So I would get shades of trying to make a plan or whatever. Hell, when I moved to Raleigh, I didn't have no plan. I had no plan. I'm like, that's why when I came down there, I got me a job and I was working a job. Hell, going to Central was your idea.
I mean, that in itself it leads to my next question. What do you think you could offer your children or other young folks as they try to maneuver their way through life?
I would well, I offer my daughter and I offer young folks now, man, like the gift of resilience, man, or knowing that you can be and you need to be resilient, because quite frankly, rarely does a person ever get what they want. You
Okay.
know, that is the stark reality. Rarely do you ever get what you want. That's number one. And number two, you get everything that
Wow.
you number two, you get everything you deserve, good or bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how much sweat equity are you willing to put into your life? How important is it to
Yeah.
you? Because it's definitely times when we go hard, and times when we kind of ease off the gas.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Damon? What would you offer up? Or what did you offer up your children, and what would you offer up in a young person?
I would just be honest, man. In this way, you got your life to live, and your experiences, to have. You got to take the step forward and see what comes your way, and then figure out how to maneuver that shit. You know what I'm saying? And make sure that you stay hungry, that you stay aggressive in trying to formulate your life in the beginning. But it's not going to happen unless you make an effort, unless you take the step forward. And that's what I always told my kids. What is it that you want to do? Try it. Don't be afraid of failure. Learn from that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going to constitute your whole life. Learning from stuff and maneuvering and following the best path. And that's really what it is. It's about wisdom, isn't it? From your own personal experiences. The better, you define your better self.
Yeah.
You gotta take the hits to understand how to maneuver in this world, man. Because they're coming from all directions. What's your best defense? Learn from your mistakes.
Okay. Well, let's stay here with you then, Damon. Um, it's easy to give advice. I'm speaking in general. It's easy to give advice to the people that you're listening to in good times. What direction do you come from when you're trying to give encouragement and advice in the not so good times, turbulent, bad times? What direction do you come from?
But
What would be the first thing that you would try to concentrate on for that person?
in giving advice,
Yeah, yeah.
real simple, man. Leading by example. You know
But
what I'm
I'm
saying?
saying,
Because that's the first thing a person is going to recognize how you leading your life, how you living your life. You know what I'm saying? And that would make that person think, well, you know what, he or she might be somebody I can talk to because I see success in their life. I see them going through adversity and still being successful. How do you do that? How do you not be discouraged in life? You know what I'm saying? And you see it visually. So you know you don't want to be the smartest person in your group. You know what I'm saying? You want somebody to be able to teach you something, especially if you're going through some adversity or whatever. Teach you something how to overcome and still function, maintain, and be aspirational at the same time. And that
so
requires experience in seeing it.
what if you are the smartest person in the group and they come to you for help and advice? Is it something that you would give them, or is it just more or less uh, uh, just trying to navigate just one step at a time through it?
If I choose to stay in that position, in that group, in that position, then of course I'm gonna reach back.
I know that. Listen to my question. What exactly, if they come to you for advice and help, do you think you would have something, especially if you're the smartest in the group, where you have something to offer them?
I absolutely would. If I'm the smartest in the group, I absolutely I would make an effort. It don't mean they're going to be receptive to it, but I'll make an effort. I don't lose anything in that.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. Well, yeah, you gave me the answer in the direction I was going to. Jaquari, what about yourself?
Well, first of all, man, I've gotten into the habit, man, of seeing whether this person is even receptive to what I have to say. You know, because over the years, man, I found out that no matter no matter how good intentioned, unsolicited advice and a punch to the face is basically the same thing. Don't nobody ask for either one. You know, so first of all, are you open to this? You know, because you done fucked up. In some cases, you done fucked up bad. But it's the other side to this shit. You know, it's always another side to it unless you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you go to jail for 100 years, you know, can you have a good life? No, but you know, you can still have a semblance of humanity. So you know, that's how I start those conversations, man. And I can't really give advice to match like today's like young people's mindset or whatever, because you know, to them my way of thinking is fucking antiquated, and you know, I realize that and I understand it. So even though it's good advice, they don't always, you know, accept it coming from me, because I'm an old head now, you know. So I gotta accept that. So if they're talking to somebody, they have a dialogue with somebody, you know, and I have a good relationship with that person, then you know I can shoot some suggestions, you know, through that person. You know what I mean? Because you know, nobody, you know, nobody want no credit for somebody, you know, doing the right thing, propelling themselves forward, keeping themselves out of trouble.
Mm.
Supposed to do that, you know, because as Damon was saying, man, I done been through all that shit, and I found the other side of it. So let's do that. You know, we're not gonna try. We're not gonna try to solve all. We're, we're not gonna try to solve all your problems today. We're not gonna do it. You know, but sit down with somebody and try to figure out the problems that you can solve today. If you can't solve them today, you can get it started, and that's it.
I got you. I think that
Come on, bro. Come on,
my,
bro.
my answer to that is I've always believed in planting seeds. When you plant seeds, right, really and truly that person is not ready to receive whatever information, if especially the right information, they're not ready to receive it or they refuse to see it, right? But the thing about it is when you plant the seed, when they're ready to ask for help or ready to receive help, someone has said this to them. So they have something, somebody, you know, that seed can be sown now because they've heard it somewhere before. You know, there's many times I've had friends say, "Oh man, here you go again," right? When I was young,
Hmm.
and you know, I've never stepped on my soapbox, but I believed in common sense, and I was allergic to stupidity. You know what I'm saying? And really and truly, if you hear me repeat myself to you, that should mean something to you. Like, yo, you pretty much fucking up. You know what I mean? So in my this has happened in my youth. Then I circle back with these men who've lived their lives, good or bad, lived their lives, and they remind me of a conversation that I had with them when they were younger, when they weren't ready to receive it. But that seed was planted for some situation or someone else to sow it for them so it could grow. Yeah, that's pretty how I see it. I've never been the smartest one in my group because I don't show people my intelligence. I am a high IQ person when it comes to being, interacting with people, being a sponge, and understanding situations. But I don't have to share that with you. All I can do is just offer things to you. Just like I would hope you would offer them to me. Because I look for that too. You know what I'm saying? I look for that too.
Yeah.
Well,
Real quick, man. I want to send a shout out to Damon, the Time Traveling Nomad, brother. I appreciate you saying that, man. He said shout out to Hill. He was the smartest in our group, even if he didn't know it. But I mean, little do you realize, man, that I was trying to keep up with y'all, man. I mean, my group of friends, man, had such a big impact on my life, man. It's I had amazing friends, man, and I'm not a good friend because I haven't been in a room with him in damn near 10 years, you know. And outside of my family, my blood relatives, man, he was a part of a group of dudes that I hung out with, man. About 6, 7, 8 of us or whatever, man. Those dudes know me better than anybody else on the face of this planet, man. Outside of my wife, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, Damon, shit, he was the one who, when I started reading Iceberg Slam and Donald Goins and shit, he turned me on to that.
Hmm.
I borrowed a book from him, Pimp: The Story of My Life by Iceberg Slim. Took it home and was reading it, and Pop seen it. He said, "Where you get that from?" And I told him. He said, "Yeah, I done read all that shit. They out in the garage." And I dove into them. So I owe Damon for that. My love for reggae music. I was with him when I discovered Capleton.
Yeah, I mean, look. I'm gonna be honest with you. I never under this from the dance hall and the folk reggae.
Mm.
I heard it in the club and I liked it, but you were the one who put names to the different artists, and
Matter of
then it
fact,
became one of my favorite things. Like I listen when I work out, I listen to Capleton all the time.
mhm. matter of fact, he turned me on to him. We was going to goddamn Tower Records every damn day. Tower Records, because I was working for Borders. So
Hmm.
I start, yeah, and hey man, I picked up a lot with them dudes, man. Learned a lot with them dudes. My other brothers.
what was the question? What was the question again, bro?
Well, the one you answered,
I got something to add to it,
oh shit,
but
damn.
I'm trying to because
I,
all
t-
I'm
I
thinking about is Caperton.
yeah, I
And
I cut you off because I wanted to say that about my friends and everything, man. That's my bad.
it's neither here that or nor there, man. Go ahead, bro. You got another question?
Well, no, what I want to do is I call them grown man, grown woman bars, right? And I want to get your opinion, and as far as people in the chat and also you guys, what when you hear it, what does it, what do you think about? The first one is strong men and strong women are made from adversity. What is your opinion about that?
I think it's a hell of an ending statement, but it kind of takes away it takes away the weight of the journey, man. You know what I mean? Because that's the journey is where strength is developed. You
Well,
know?
the adversity, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What about you, Damon?
When I read it, the first thing I thought about, I tried to exchange from to for adversity.
What do you mean?
You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is that is it a reactionary thing or is it something that you have an awareness of and you are willing to take on the challenge, if that makes any sense? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? If you made from adversity, that's you're being reactionary to your experience. If that
I
makes
mean,
any sense. If you made for it,
life is reactionary, though, isn't it?
yeah, it's reactionary, but it kind of subsides after a while because you understand what's coming. You prepare, right?
Hmm.
You know, situations happen. You know what I'm saying? Same situations happen all the time. You know, do you keep making the same mistakes? Or do you learn from them shits and move on to the next challenge? You know what I mean?
Gotcha. And Damon says, my biggest adversity has been myself. That is a honest statement that I think a lot of people would concur, Damon. You know, Keith Barnes says, I believe it's true to an extent. Some people learn from seeing others go through adversity and they adjust.
I can attest to that because throughout my childhood, I received very little ass kickings because of watching y'all.
Get an ass kicked? Yeah,
Absolutely.
that makes sense. It makes sense. I think I take from a little of all you guys, man. With you, Damon, at, preparing for adversity, going through adversity prepares you to confront adversity when it comes. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it just goes hand in hand, to be honest with you, because that's what that statement just struck me. Is like there are many pieces to when you get to that last statement, like you said, Jaquari. You know what I mean? At the end of it, because you're going through this stuff. And then if you're blessed, you realize that that was adversity that you went through. It wasn't a curse. It wasn't bad luck. No, it was life. Life sometimes has adversity in it.
Yeah.
Or the majority of the time has adversity in it, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I think what we get caught up on, man, is this is where I got caught up on. Once I reached a certain point, everything was squared away. You know what I'm saying? Everything was squared away. I done went through this shit. It's all behind me. Now it's nothing but peace. You know what I'm saying?
If you can, I mean, if you can figure out, man, how to live a good life through your wounds and not your scars, man, I mean, I think he's being on a pretty good path.
Yeah. I saw something. Did you have something to say, Danny? Because you got that look on your face.
Mm-mm. I'm listening.
Uh, want to make sure, because I'm gonna tell you, I was watching something. I would watch something a couple days ago, and it struck me, and I've been sitting here for the last 5 minutes trying to remember it because it's impactful. And it had just to paraphrase it. It says we search for peace, and we think peace is absent of turmoil, strife, and adversity. But really, what peace is being able to understand that turmoil, adversity, and strife go hand in hand with peace. You have to recognize your peace and then live in it. It was shorter, but that was pretty much what was the gist of it. And it was impactful for me. I'm like, damn, that's real. You know what I mean? Because I fooled myself into thinking, you know what? I'm going to finally get past this and nothing else going to happen. Not realizing as I getting older, you know, my body is going to get weaker, even though I'm stronger, still stronger than a regular human being, but it's getting weaker than it was. My senses are getting duller. You know, that's part of it. But there's also bills continue to come. They don't stop. If you have anxiety about that, you feel what I'm saying? You know, you worry about your loved ones. You love that. All that stuff will continue to be there. But it's up to us to embrace that we earned peace. We earned it because we're living our lives. You know what I mean?
You know, and this has always been in my mind, man. You know, I don't remember the peace. I can't remember the peaceful times, man. I really can't. You know, the times when I was just like hitting everything on all cylinders or whatever. You know, and that just shows me, man, throughout my life how much I've taken. I've taken, you know, positive things that happened to me for fucking granted or whatever. Yeah, I was thankful and grateful for all the good shit that, you know, that's ever happened to me or I've ever been through. But I didn't soak those moments up. I didn't soak them in. You know what I mean? So I really think that, you know, especially like in my job in particular, man, for me to give advice, it's coming from a place of trauma and damage. You know what I mean? And there is this world is designed to the point where there's value in risk, and I don't think I've ever risked a lot, you know, throughout my life. I've always figured out a way to play it safe, even in dangerous, fucked up situations. Always figured out a way to play it safe. You know, has it maintained my safety mentally and physically? It definitely has. It definitely has. But you know, sometimes I lay awake at night and think about those times, man, where if I pushed a little harder, just a little bit harder, I would have been satisfied in that situation. You know. But then I realized though that complete and utter satisfaction, I don't know if it exists. I don't know if it exists. You know, peace,
What
man.
utter satisfaction?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Peace. No, but you just said it. Keep peace. Peace walks hand in hand with turmoil.
it does.
You're supposed to be able to maintain, you know, a certain calmness, a certain, you know, uh, uh, relaxed demeanor or whatever in the face of danger. Even though there's fear there, even though there's apprehension there, because you got to move through it. You got to move. I mean, bravery is not the absence of fear.
Yeah, and yeah. Damon, what was you going to say?
No, I was just listening, man. But yeah, I'm hearing y'all talking about finding peace, man. You know what I'm saying? Finding peace, man. Sometimes it comes to you in happenstance, man. You might be sitting there in the park, man, on the bench, man, and the sun beaming down on you. You at peace. You know what I'm saying? You are able to think through your situation. You think through without chaos, without controversy. You sitting there actually making a plan to step forward in your life. That's peace because it allows you, without the chaos, to think through your situation. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's peace. because the world is chaotic, man, and everything comes at you in bunches, and it's not all good. But if you have a momentary time where you sitting down by yourself and you are able to think through a process, to me that's peace. You're not distracted. You're actually thinking about yourself and how to move, how to take the first steps. So for me, that's peace. It doesn't matter what the world brings. I am in a position where I can think through a process, think through a crisis. You know what I'm saying? And then it's incumbent upon me to set that plan in place. And once you recognize and feel that, man, I'm moving in the right direction, then you have some modicum of control, right? Don't that give you peace? That you are able to establish that through your own volition?
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I just think the one thing I would add to it is, and just using your example, peace and turmoil, Jaquari, and then combining Damon. Damon made the choice to go with peace instead of addressing turmoil at the time, sitting at the park. You make that choice for peace, and that's what that quote and that statement made me think about, is making a choice for that peace and seeing where it is and existing within it. Because, like Damon said, then you're able to actually address the turmoil once you are experiencing the peace. You know? All right, next one. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe yourself everything. Who want to tackle that one?
I mean, that's something that we all go through, man. I mean, if we do a good deed when we're young and we do a good deed, I mean, well, personally, when I was younger and I did good shit for people or whatever, I had some expectation of reciprocation. You know what I mean? And I thought that, through karma or whatever, man, that I was gonna reap the benefits of being a good person, which absolutely negates the whole point of being you know a good person. You know what I mean? If you trying to do something good for a person or a situation, then let it be that. Let it be that, and don't look for any kind of reciprocation. You know what I mean? I don't. I mean, if I got it to give, then it's automatic because it's been so many times, man, where I've been in situations where my shit was deficient, man, and ain't nobody step up. So if I didn't learn the lesson of you know providing the need, filling the need when I seen it, then I would be in the same rut that I was when I ain't have shit. Lesson learned.
Gotcha. What is your opinion about it, Damon?
My opinion about the question is, you said the world don't owe you anything. Hell, they owe you humanity, respect as a human being. You know what I'm saying? And give you the latitude to live your life how you deem you should live it in a respectful way, in a in a human way. They owe you that. You know what I'm
So,
saying? Now, if you choose to take on that, man, the world don't owe me anything. If you choose to take on that, do you gonna make yourself callous? And you're gonna say, this is where I stand on. I'm gonna stand on this because it worked for me. And how is that being
but
working together?
now I understand what you're saying, but you breaking the actual statement in half. Because if you said the world don't owe me anything, and you come from that point of view, this is my observation, and this is what I think. Then I get what you're saying. I understand that. But when you link both parts together, when you say you owe yourself everything, then it brings it makes me come into mind of, okay, it could be adversarial, but it won't be adversarial when but my bottom line is I owe myself everything. You see what I'm saying? Because if you want to take it in a negative turn, that's understandable. But to put it put yourself in a position to understand that I don't have no expectation when I say the world don't owe me anything. But I have an expectation for myself if the world's trying to take from me to resist it and make things happen for me. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm. So let me make sure I'm understanding, because I don't want to misconstrue what you're saying, bro. Do the world have control over my life? Do they dictate what the hell I do and how I navigate their bullshit?
Well, that's basically what the first part of it says.
You know what I'm saying? My point is, it's real easy to get caught up and allow peer pressure to dictate your life. You know what I'm saying? It's real easy to get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to be combative towards anybody. You're just trying to live your life the best way you can, get through. So it's all about you navigating in order to make things happen for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the world is concerned, it could be adversarial, but would that be a waste of your time if you're trying to move forward in your own personal life? Worrying about who's out there trying to get you? No, you figure out how to navigate and avoid the bullshit, right?
But
Not unless you get caught up, huh?
you got to swim through gallons of that bullshit before you come to that
Yeah,
point.
but hey, all three of us know as black men, we know that's the case. You know what I'm saying? We know that's the case. But by the same token, do we allow that to hamstring us?
But see, that's the whole point, though.
No.
What you said, Jaquari, swim through all that bullshit. When you swim through all that bullshit on the other side, then you got somebody there who actually is somebody of interest to you. Is you. You are there waiting because you understand. The first part of that phrase is the world could be fucked up. Paraphrase it. The world could be fucked up. But the one person that I can count on to give me good, positive vibes and I understand is me. You know what I'm saying? See, and that's because I'm going to tell you, every interpretation that was said, I agree with, right? But I also optimistically look at it this way. The world don't owe you nothing. And that mentality makes you go to work every day. That mentality makes you do overtime, get that grind, get that promotion, go forward, provide for your family, everything. And then it comes in like you owe yourself everything. And that's part of enjoying what you putting into this thing.
It's it's actually quite a liberating statement.
It is if you could do it. If you could do it. But I think we let me ask you both this. Do you feel the strongest of us? Do you feel the conditioning that this country has toward the races affects who you are and your thinking?
I don't. I don't. I have the same attitude towards those who work against me that today as I did before. Dude was reelected. Ain't nothing about me change. If I think somebody's on some bullshit, white, black, red, or green, I'm gonna tell
Okay. What
You
about
see
you,
the
man?
bullshit.
So what
Me,
about you?
man, the thing with me, man, is that I'm at the age now that I done seen damn near everything, man. And I've gotten up to this point. I survived the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I have to recognize is the fact that when I look past my life, my past life, I understand I had more good times than I had bad. You know what I'm saying? I had more good times than I had bad. And the only times I come to that realization is when I'm feeling like, man, I got to navigate all this bullshit and all this stuff that's happening in the world and all that stuff. And not remembering that, man, I had a lot of good damn times, man. I had a lot of good breaks. I'm actually doing good in life. You know what I'm saying? In spite of all the things that was coming at me. So I understand that I'm a survivor in that aspect. You know, So for me, it's about having what type of mindset you want to have, knowing that you went through the gauntlet and you survived the shit and you are actually doing damn okay. Where do I want? What I'm saying? Now that I'm getting older, my thing is let me reap the benefits from all the struggle and shit. Okay, what can I do to enjoy life now? You know what I'm saying? I put in the work. Okay, what's the prize at the end of the damn day? Nobody's taking that away from me because nobody's taking away my experience. It's up to me to say, you know what? I actually went through that bullshit. I owe myself a vacation. I actually went through that shit. I need my family around and I'm gonna cook for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call up an old friend I haven't talked to in a long time because I had a good thought about this, a good memory about this brother or sister or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Don't what the world don't dictate shit. I dictate it because I've been through it. You see what I'm saying? So my mindset when I wake up today is like, oh shit, here go another day. My mindset is, man, I've been through a whole lot of shit. Who can I call, man, just to hear their voice and talk about memories and enjoying seeing their face, or communicating, or just kicking it with my grandbaby, man, watching her advance and learn and shit. World don't dictate that. That's mine. I earned that shit. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't mean to sound crass, but I'm just saying, I I don't think that way, bro. I don't think about the world as it pertains to my life unless they come to me physically and try to take what I have. Then there's a problem. Then I lock and load. But other than that, I'm like, man, I can't. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to talking to this person, calling that person, going out to dinner with this person, building memories, enjoying my twilight shit.
I mean, and that was a wonderful thing. My
Okay.
question was to both of you guys. Do you think that we've been conditioned to think a certain way about each other?
Yeah, no. I truly try to take whoever it is I'm dealing with at face value, man.
Okay.
And that's not always a good thing because a lot of times people have motives. I I I for the life of me, I don't I can't do anything about that.
I got you.
So my my hand is on my sleeve. You can see that my whole card and everything. You know, and till I see you cheating, man. You know, I'm gonna play you fair.
Yeah.
But don't nobody cheat like I cheat.
Okay. Damon, what about you? Um, we'll wait. But when I'm talking about conditioning to think a certain way, what brings up to mind is years ago, maybe what, 15 years ago, when Chris Rock had his first HBO stand up, when he said black people and the N word.
Mhm. I
That's
hate.
that is a form of conditioning right there. And the reason why I say that is because when he said that, he said it for comedy, but he meant every word of it because the people who clapped and applauded for it meant every word of it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you you put yourself in it, and I'm not talking about to be naive, but I'm talking about be realistic on what your part of life is. You know what I mean? Because if you see a group of guys, whether they're white or black, standing in a corner looking thuggish,
Mhm.
you gonna walk through that crowd or you gonna walk around them across the street? What would be the smart thing to do? You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean by being naive. Like, oh no, these brothers ain't gonna do that. No, criminals, criminal. They criminal. You feel what I'm saying? That's what they do.
They crime well.
That's what they do. That's what they do. You feel me? But I'm talking about how you deal with someone. Another thing is how many times have you seen? And this just hit me. It just hit me just now. How many times when it comes to businessmen, say you got painters, plumbers, electrician, carpenters, right? And it's black and white or Spanish or whatever, right? Do you treat each one of those communities different when it comes to getting that business?
I don't. I don't. I mean,
No,
and
but no, this my no, I'm not asking you the question. I'm just giving you. I'm just saying the conditioning. This is just what I'm saying when it came across is the conditioning of it. Are we conditioned to say, oh, the brother, we can't depend on him because he got too many jobs and he's not gonna pay attention to my job, right? The white guy is, oh, he's the best. You know what I mean? Because he's polite, but he might be robbing you blind. Then the Spanish dude is, I'm looking, look, the black dude and the Spanish dude, I'm looking for the hookup on the cheap price and will be mad because they charging you the full price. Talking about the conditioning of it is what is it like I don't think we're trapped in it, but I think it affects even the strongest of us. You know what I mean? You have to be careful, not in every move that you make, but it has to play in every decision that you make, I think. You know what I mean? Because this podcast, right? When I'm doing the housekeeping, I have to tell folks every single time, instead of them, I do it for the first timers, what we do here. What we do. We have conversations about every walk of life. And we hear each other out and we go forward. And this is what we do. So we're promoting conversation, right? Some people say you have to do that. And this is stuff that I've studied. You have to do that to catch people's eye, to get them that zing, that pow, that boom, right? And I'm like, well, damn, why don't you just want to watch it? Because it's interesting. You know what I'm saying? Watch it for a couple minutes, and maybe you, in those couple of minutes, it makes you want to stay longer. You know what I mean? But if it would say if we was three Spanish dudes and we was going back and forth between Spanish and English, people would want to stay to hear what we have to say. That's my opinion about it, right? Right or wrong, that's my opinion. Now with the three of us, the people who know us, you would think that they would show up the majority of the Fridays or go show love on the YouTube channel, right? I claim that. That's what they doing. You feel me? But if I got caught up on why it's not blowing up, right? Blowing up, you hear all the cookie cutter answers. Well, you might be going too long. Uh, well, your colors is different. You know, you need to have blue in the background to draw people in. You know what I mean? How many times have you heard this? And also you go YouTube it or Google it and they tell you the same thing.
Mhm.
And I say this to you, both of you, it is room for all of us to do very, very well on here. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like you wonder why it hasn't blown up like it should. But I don't get caught up on that because it don't matter. It don't matter to me.
I
You know what I
mean,
mean?
it's we've had conversations about that, about our viewership and our participation, from our friends and family and everything, man. And I'm gonna die on this hill, man. I'm satisfied with the outcome of what we got going on. I would love the shot, the shiny baubles and shit. Yeah, I would absolutely love it. But this is Friday is really when I really get to cut away the outside fat, man, and I ain't got to wear my public hat. That's valuable to me, man. Because it's since we've been doing this, I found it easier to interact with people. To have actual conversations with people, meaningful conversations. You know what I mean? And it comes in snippets. They really do come in snippets. I've heard some powerful things and said some powerful things in a span of 5 minutes, and whoever I was talking to made an impact on me, and vice versa. So yeah, I mean, this thing brings value to my life, to me.
What about you, Damon?
We're talking about the our podcast, right? I enjoy coming on here, spending time with my brothers, man, and we just so happen to let people in. That's what's most important to me. You know, and people that can gain something from it, that's a plus. People who choose to ignore or not interested, then it's not for me to even be concerned about them. I'm gaining something from it. And like Corey says, it impacted his life. It's impactful in his life, like it is in mine, man. So I can't control anything unless we're gonna do some, sensationalized bullshit, talking about somebody who got divorced in Hollywood. Shit, if we're gonna talk about that, then there's gonna be some people gonna want to come on and have that conversation. But like you said, Keith, we have conversations that's deeper than that. You know what I more meaningful.
Got you. I know it's big things in the future. So I wasn't trying to solicit you folks, so don't get me wrong with that. I was just, like I said, we're expressing our thoughts, and I wanted to share that. Now, there's a grown man bar. I saw this. It's a bit controversial once I read it, so excuse me, but I need to read it in its full context so it could be felt the way I think it will be felt. And I got this from watching uh, Willie D's podcast with Shula King on it. Shula King is, a comedian, internet comedian, and also stand-up comedian. And he was on there expressing himself. He said some good things, but one thing he said was, and he tried to. It's impactful, but I believe he has tried to be clever on there just to have a zinger, right? He said, "I'm gonna tell you something, Willie D." He said, "Never leave a good woman over a bad bitch." I'm gonna say it one more time. Never leave a good woman over a bad bitch. Now, any thoughts on that statement, fellas?
Well, outside of how the women in my life would describe themselves, I would say I'd be hard pressed to give you an example of a bad bitch. It all boils down to the kind of people you surround yourself with.
Mm.
And to me, a bad bitch is a plastic person. Not making any judgments on anybody, but if that's what you want to be, that's you know, so be it. I don't have any use for the antics or I don't live the lifestyle that would attract a bad bitch. I don't think.
Succubus. What about you, Damon?
Well, it all depends on the definition, man. Maybe your woman is a good woman and a bad bitch at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're talking about somebody you want to sex up, that's a totally different subject.
I think that's where he was coming from. That's why I read the statement. I didn't want to say that. I don't say that word, but I read it that way to help feel the impact of it. So
Right.
basically,
I think that's a brother who's just discovering that mindset. You know what I'm saying? He just discovering it. Maybe he went through the experience or whatever. Who knows?
I mean, let me be honest with you, and like I said, I was just jotting down different things that I saw throughout the week. When I saw this is what I took from this: is you get caught up. You got a good woman at home that's down for you. You and her are doing good things together, and she is faithful to you. And then you get caught up in the with a woman who living that jet set life, and that's exciting to you, and you're caught up in it, right? How many times? And I can count many brothers that I know, right? That had a good woman at home, but left that good woman for this woman that really and truly he going in his pocket, he's chasing her, doing all these things, and she's not faithful to him, right? And they were miserable and crashed their life over that. So when I heard him say that, that's what came to mind with me. You understand what I'm saying to you? Damon says it's, slang for the grass is greener. I could take that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the grass is greener on the other side of the fences, because you got way bigger dogs over there eating shit, fertilizing the grass.
No, it works both ways, man. Just like a female having a just in case motherfucker. So I mean, it's just how it should be, man.
I know that, but I'm saying to you is my expectation. What I asked you guys is I wanted your opinion about it. Like, you know, is there merit to it?
Yeah, there's merit to it. I mean, but I noticed you used the phrase "caught up" several times, man. And as I sit here and think about it, I've never been in a position to where I'd be, would be caught up. Even before I got married, man, I always went into things with my eyes. I always went into things with my eyes open, or I tried to.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't, they became open quickly.
I get it. I get it. I mean, and like I said, I just assumed that it was because there's always the in between where you know you might change her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but no, it's see, I've always understood what playground I was playing in which neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, if I'm in my own neighborhood, I know my playground, my basketball court, I'm safe there, right? And then you go across town, there's a little less safety, but you cool. But then if you go outside the city and you go somewhere and it's in a rival neighborhood, you're not really good, but you there though, for the thrill or you feel comfortable. That's what I equate sometimes it excuse me. That's what I equate sometimes when it comes to these relationships. Where you got somebody at home, right, who you could depend on is there for you and all this, but then you caught up in the excitement of someone that single, and they single for a reason. And then they start to pay you attention, right? Then you think, well, and this is men and women now, I'm changing them. They're soaking up my energy. They want to change for me. You know what I'm saying? Now, there is a small percentage of that might be true, but a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? You meet them in those circumstances, you can't trust yourself to be in a relationship with them people because of paranoia. Your paranoia and their paranoia. Because if a woman got you and you was with somebody and you left that person for her, she gonna have problems. She may not say them to you, but she gonna have problems with you. She gonna be paranoid all the time. She's gonna be clocking you unless she is hypnotized. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with a man. You sit there and we sit up there and talking about we tough and we hold it down and all this. But if you feel like you stole a woman from another man, your woman when she become your woman, you got to know where she is all the time, even if you don't verbalize it. That's just how it is. And Damon had something, and you tell me what y'all think. I just put it on the screen. He says, do you stay with the safe job, wifey, or take a risk working outside your comfort zone, the bad B?
You gotta stay where you're successful.
I mean, you with your wife for a reason.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm gonna say about that, because some people just they make the decision to do what they want, and I'm not judging. But you are with that woman for a reason.
Mhm.
So if you start to be upset now, if she's being detrimental with her health or something like that, or your health, I get it. But if she gained weight, you know what I'm saying? If she is not, if it's something that changed about her, if you really love her, you can have a conversation with her and you can ride it out until it comes back again. And I'm just saying that for instance, more than anything. Some people are impatient. They not willing to do it. You know what I mean? Damon said he might enter the portal.
Somebody else's diamonds is always prettier, man.
You're damn right. Damn right. But I don't want nobody else's shit, man. That's just never been me.
Yeah.
Um, last words of the day. After this, I want to thank Damon. I want to thank Keith Barnes for showing up. Appreciate both your comments. Damon, you ready to come on? Let us know.
Absolutely.
Let us know, man, because you're welcome to come on. Um, I think that I enjoyed our conversation tonight. Do us a favor. Go to our YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Um, Strong Perspective Podcast. Build our numbers up. Under my name, you'll see the Cash App to show the podcast some love. If you feel in your heart, you see this in the future. If you witness it now, if you send a couple dollars, we appreciate it. It's going into the fund to get the camera funds. You know what I'm saying? Because my brothers, they some handsome guys, so the world need to see them in they 4K.
Man, you killed me with that, bro.
Motherfuckers, your 4K.
This motherfucker, man.
But
I had a-
any last words, Jaquar?
Bullshit ain't nothing but chewed up grass. But if you know how, you can build your home from it. You can heat your home with it. And if you become nose blind, you can grow food with it. Doesn't necessarily make it a good thing.
Okay.
Understand?
bullshit.
Under,
Bu-
under,
I'm sorry, bro.
just understand your perspective.
Bullshit and food in the same sentence.
That's how the world works. Society was built on bullshit. You didn't know that?
Uh, don't it feel good to be a Pistons fan, man? Once again,
I wore a piston sweatshirt to work today.
God damn it! Don't it feel good?
Look, I ain't never left them, man. I mean,
I ain't never left them either. But what I'm saying though, man, we had the
they,
Lions season, man, and
they gave me
it didn't turn
the
out
Pistons gave me 3 NBA championships, so I'm with them.
right, man. I'm
No
just
matter what.
saying, man. Listen, the success. Michigan won the national title. The Lions won 15 games. The Tigers almost made it in the playoffs and shit. Who else? Michigan and Michigan State made it to the Sweet 16. Damn, it feel good to be a Michigander. You know what I'm
No doubt.
saying?
No
To
doubt.
be able to root for a team, blue collar, grind.
Yeah.
You know, I'm reveling in that shit, man. I enjoy it. Real talk.
Look, like I said, go like, share, and subscribe to Strong Perspective Podcast. And we here every Friday at 7:30. Come in, have you tap in with us, man. If you want to come on, let us know. We got you. We can't pay you shit, but you can come on and show your shiny face. And young ladies, please, we need women to come on. You know why? Because I don't want to just make this about a male dominated show. We had them coming on earlier, so I'll probably have to go back and tap in on past guests. But if you know a young lady who wants to come on, as long as she ain't in the man's hater club and she's up with the conversation, it's cool. You know what I mean? And you cannot, Damon said, bad biz snatches only. But go there, go in and like, share, and subscribe. Show us a little love on our Cash App so we can get them clear cameras. Look, I got baby blue eyes, so y'all get the right camera, y'all get to see them. This is a Strong Perspective Podcast. Enjoy your weekends, folks.
Peace.
Good night.